Trevor and Heidi.
Good afternoon, Town of LaPointe Regular Planning and Zoning Town Plan Commission meeting, 4:30 PM, June 2nd. Call to order, roll call.
Charles Brummer.
Amy Baxter.
Jim.
Paul Wilhelm. Public comment. Paul.
Comes to the healing motion CUP, I hope not only the TPC, but more importantly, the town board realizes it not only has to jive with the zoning ordinance, it also has to jive with the comprehensive plan as per state law.
Thank you. Zoning Administrator report.
Good afternoon. Could find a couple pages in the mailbox here, so we'll quickly spin over it from a high level. So zoning ordinance, that was a great accomplishment last month. Conducting the public hearing on May 20th. Thanks for the team's support on that. Permits, we have 8 on the agenda for tonight, of which we'll be reviewing 5. Most of those, 3 of those came in within the final 2 weeks of the month. And the goal is always to keep these rolling as quickly as possible. All permit applications that were ready to go that were submitted up through May 31st are on the agenda for tonight. So, and again, I prepare this report for the town board as well. Grants you will find on the last page and just a paragraph here. The only thing I'll mention here is that we were selected for the WISCOM radio grant that will support emergency services and the police and fire department. So that's a great win for the town. We were awarded $38,400 for those radios. So hopefully the first of many. We've talked already about the zoning rewrite and the great work that we're continuing to do there. I included an update on the permit status for May of 2026, including the 5 that we're talking about tonight and 3 others that to be submitted. And one of the interesting things is that looking back at May of the past 2 years, the big difference I see right now is that in May of 2024, we had 6 dwelling permits that were requested and issued. In May of 2025, we had 1, and in May of 2026, there were new dwelling permits. We've got a lot of other things, expansions of housing, decks, saunas, tiny homes, but no new dwellings this month. In addition, I've been working with some property owners on some questions regarding the pump house on Nebraska Row, the 6th Street vacation, which I do have an update on tonight. And we've continued conversations on Craftivity and their request. As far as supporting the short-term rental administrator, she's been doing a great job. This is the time of year where the rental permits are renewed. The deadline is technically June 14th, but that falls on a Sunday. So the deadline is now June 15th. And as of I think today, there were 8 commercial, 1 long-term, and 19 daily permits that have been issued. So that obviously will increase over the next couple of weeks. Back on May 8th, I presented to the Coastal Hazards of Superior Group Beyond the Code webinar. I was invited by the Coastal Resilience Coordinator of the Wisconsin Coastal Management Program to present on what the town of LaPointe does that goes above and beyond the zoning code to share information with property owners and contractors. Well attended, 44 participants. I was one of 3 presenters, along with someone from the New York Seed Grant Program and a coastal engineering company. Presentation was, the whole program was about an hour, and it went great and was well received. I also continued to dial into the Great Lakes Island Alliance call. And one of the interesting things in the meeting on May is that no islands that were on the call have year-round daycare. Beaver Island had commissioned a study with a consultant of their specific situation. And they were going to ask their consultant if they would be willing to join GLIA on a call over the summer to talk about the findings of that study. So if that's going forward in July or August, I will notify the Child Care Task Force so that they can dial in. Back mid-month, I had a coordination meeting with Ashland County Zoning. This is a regular meeting. We usually do it via phone. Carisha came out to the island that day. We try to meet every couple of weeks just to talk about topics and trends that we're seeing both in Ashland County as well as on the island. I think these benefit the town of LaPointe and Ashland County. Let's go. So.
Excuse me, folks, that
We-
you've lost the sound of the meeting. There's no sound.
We can't hear you. Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Okay, great. So somehow it got clicked back. Were
Okay,
you able to hear that?
we got it now.
Okay. Okay. How long were you not able to hear?
Just the last minute or so.
Okay, that's weird.
Thank you, Steve.
Gremlins.
So Sue Ellen did point out, or like correction on the May 6th. So on page 1, public present, David Elin and Jill Eloff. They participate both via Zoom, so.
Hey, did you find anything, Jim? No, I didn't find anything else.
I make a motion to approve the regular planning and zoning commission meeting minutes from May 6th.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And the public hearing, May 20th.
Good job on the minutes, Rich.
Yeah. Okay, wait a minute.
I'll move that we approve the public hearing minutes of May 20th, 2026 as presented.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Review, discuss, and possibly approve land use permit applications, including but not limited to, the first one is 277 Raymond Road. Carport / shed.
For it or
Meets all the setbacks of the areas.
it does. It was marked, meets all of the setbacks. Everything is completed, but.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Catherine Ash land use permit at 277 Raymond Road as submitted.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And 1400 Middle Road, travel trailer.
It's a question, Rich. Is there any sanitary for this? That's required. Is this going to be like a long-term camping or a short term? or-
Yeah, so they can hook it up to the existing holding tank.
Okay.
And I did coordinate with Ashland County because I had the same question.
Okay, it just that you marked it non-applicable and.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah, and what I meant by that was I did coordinate with Ashland County and it was not an issue.
Okay, Looks like it meets all the setback.
It does, and it's outside the wetlands and no issues or concerns.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Deborah Knopf land use application permit for 1400 Middle Road as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And 3756 Big Bay Road, tiny home and a land disturbance.
So we don't have the final permit application for that one yet. That is regarding a wetland that is on the property, and I have a call with the property owner scheduled for tomorrow, and I've been in coordination with DNR to help through that process. So
Okay, thanks. We'll table this. 351 Old Fort Road, deck expansion and sauna.
Where is this gonna go? I was trying to teach them.
yeah, so it's going to go in front of the existing house, between the house and the lake.
So there's a big porch there.
There,
Underneath the front porch, by the little porch for that addition that the specialists did for the bedrooms downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can tell by the photos.
You are not.
I did. I
You
did.
grew up there.
yeah, and they had it marked well. I visited the site last Friday. It meets all of the setbacks. For a little bit better than you know now, see, but
But it's beyond 75 feet from the
yes,
ordinary high water mark.
Yes. yeah, it's 148, I think it. Yes,
Other concerns. I'll make a motion to approve the Philip and Andy Goldman land use application for a deck expansion and sauna at 351 Old Fort Road as submitted.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And 915 Nebraska Row Pump House, have a application on that, so we'll table this.
received, right?
Okay.
Final update, but I am working with the property owner on that.
Right.
Thanks.
And 348 Boho Lane Shed Sauna, that is the one that was started.
Yes, that was the one that was started. I'm working with the property owner on things including setback and size. It will require at least an Ashland County permit. I've shared some information with the property owner. I'm waiting to hear back.
And then UDC as well, you said that.
Yes, yes. So Steve's engaged as well.
Has Steve looked at it yet?
No, he's not been out there. He did,
Okay.
I did share photos from my site visit with him.
Okay, great, thanks. 490 Mondamin Trail, Paul Turner, land disturbing, shed, deck.
Yeah, and this is, including, on tiny home, and ultimately a driveway. He owns the hospital that's next to, this property. And on page 2, it shows, it's a word tiny, it's an 9 by 15. That tiny home actually exists right now on the neighboring property. So he's bringing it off of that property, onto this property.
Doesn't he own that second property?
He does, he owns both.
There's no sanitation to worry about with this either, Rich? or-
No, they have a composting toilet.
Okay.
That was permitted previously. So the setbacks, it meets the setbacks. On the top of page 3, you'll see some branches that are placed on the ground. Logs. And that's where it's at 9 by 15 is gonna go. So it matches the size of the unit.
Okay.
So, but that way at least it's marked off where it's at.
No other concerns or anything?
No other concerns.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the Paul Turner land use application at 490 on Damon Trail as submitted.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And 1758 North Shore Road, land disturbance.
And so full disclosure, this one's for Wendy and I. The driveway in front of the garage and state name. Especially with the winter. So we've identified it's kind of a half moon. On the west side of the drawing on page 2. There would be 6 trees that would be taken down and then it would be filled in. To extend the driveway a little bit further west. The pictures show the flags are where the new border of the driveway would be. And the trees that have the pink ribbon would be the trees that would be removed. And also, as part of this, although perhaps not required, is we're going to be trenching a propane line from a generator, so 76 feet of trenching across the yard. It's by definition, and it's a little bit disturbing, again, maybe not required, but wanted to be fully transparent on any digging that's going on the property.
Yeah, I think we start issuing permits for every time someone trenches or bores or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your coming forward with it. And so this would be to the rear of the house, not the front of the house, correct?
Well, correct. And yes, front of the house being
The lake.
the lens, yeah.
So the rear would be the side you're doing the work on.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the land use application permit for Richard Kula and Wendy Toth at 1758 North Shore Road. Land disturbance as submitted.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Zoning ordinance rewrite, review public hearing comments, talk about that.
There wasn't too much people.
Well, I'd like to read some of those things. Density in R1, R2, R3, I think R2 specifically, because that's where they are. And all I can say to that is because of where the sewer is established, that's where you're gonna want higher density. Over in their neighborhood, where those structures have been there long before the advent of zoning in 72. I don't know if it's too much of a concern for them. It's definitely a historical part of the island, so maybe some language referencing that. There's not a lot of R2 out there, when you look at the zoning map, but obviously they're one of them. So I just want to recognize that I understand what they're saying, but I think from a practicality standpoint, typically you're going to want higher density where the sanitation is. I mean, if they were in W1, yeah, I mean, maybe, but high density being what it is.
We used to have a map that was colored with the zones. Do we have that anymore?
We do, yes.
It's in the office. We used to have it in our folders where
Okay,
you could look.
I'd be happy to provide additional.
That would be nice. I do better with color paste.
Absolutely, yes.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
I want it back.
Oh, well, shoot.
Steal it.
Yeah, Rich, can you get us this?
Yes, absolutely.
It was helpful to see what was going on this stuff. This is kind of crinkled one. I'm gonna get a new one.
So the Fishlets has had to go through a rigmarole to get on the National Registry of Historic Buildings. Do you have to do that for a historic district? Do you have to show-
I remember Heckers wanted, when we were doing the comprehensive plan rewrite, they were encouraging the town to establish that in their neighborhood, but and I think if they forgot how that actually went, Michael Kuchka I think might have talked to him a little bit about it, but you know, it's been a few years, but I thought if they wanted to explore it on their own with their neighbors, they certainly could.
Mhm.
And I almost would encourage them to. I mean, I think it would qualify, but there again, I don't know what, you know, what criteria or
Right,
what,
I don't-
what you have to go through to do it. I
Historical, I think you actually have to have.
There's pros and cons. Once it's on the historical list, you can't mess with it.
Right.
Beth,
Although-
yeah, she didn't want to go on that with MIPA because there was so many restrictions and stuff.
She did get on the historic.
Well, she fought it for a long time because there were so many regulations and stuff.
So was Fischlowitz on it or are they?
When she was president of MIPA,
Yeah,
yeah.
Hmm.
There was an issue whether we want to go on it or not.
Okay.
We decided not to.
But her house did.
Yeah.
She personally did,
Yeah, but not, yeah.
but not there. Yeah,
No, not up there.
right.
And the museum.
And the Goldmans have changed it a bunch, so
Oh.
it doesn't restrict you all that
Oh,
much.
my gosh, everything she did, they undid.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I think they had some other comments. I'll look for them right now, but I just wanted to mention that because I know they were concerned about it and I understand their concern. That would be my only response, why we have, you know, accessory dwellings and thing of that nature in a higher density zone like R2, in case R2 is established somewhere else, because right now it's just up there on Nebraska Row and Whitefish Street up to O'Brien Court and then down along the lake from basically the intersection of where County H would come through on Middle Road there by Cafe Sage on the lakeside down to approximately where Joni's Beach is. I think that's all R2 through there. And then down by Chief Buffalo Lane on the lakeside, I think that's R2. So it's not much, but, and there's historic homes down there, I think, as well, but it doesn't extend really that far up Mission Hill, so that's all R1. And yeah, I mean, you're gonna want density where you have sewer,
Mhm.
municipal sewer. It'd be different if it was holding tanks or something else, but.
Well,
how are we doing with the capacity of the sewer?
So I always
Yeah.
thought it was designed, you know, for like 10,000 people or something like that. I don't know, Paul's on the sanitary district.
I is now, but you got a guy over there that is too.
I'd love to tell you, but we got a quorum here, so I'm not saying boo. Yeah,
Oh,
if you had a disclaimer on this agenda, I'd tell you, but you don't have a disclaimer, so
Son of a gun.
It's the one at the bottom where?
does it tell you about a quorum?
Yep, it does.
Guess I'm covered if you're.
Well, if the chair recognizes you, I mean,
So I'm getting bitched at by another member of the board, I can call you.
we're getting ready for an upgrade. Paul will fill us in.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I just am concerned about the sewer lines.
The line or the plant?
Oh, the whole thing, the whole shooting match.
Shoot, man. When the sewer was put in, it was because two reasons. Number one, you had all these tiny little properties with septic tanks. And for a septic tank to work, you need acreage. These little tiny lots with basically the drain field being the lake is aching. It's not, it really doesn't work. Number one. And number two, with leisure living was going in and they're gonna have 300 to 400 homes up on the golf course. It wouldn't have worked. They were all gonna go into those 10,000 gallon holding tanks. Again, it wouldn't work. So there was two choices. Either you put in a sewer plant or there was gonna be a building moratorium, which means you couldn't drive a nail on this island. They wouldn't allow them. So when you hear someone say, oh boy, the people back in the 70s had this foresight to put in a sewer plant, you didn't really have much foresight. It was stick them up. I mean, that was your choice. So that's why they put the sewer plant in. And they built it a lot bigger than they had to because you're gonna put the 300 to 400 homes in, but lo and behold, what happened in the early 70s, you had oil embargo, you had double-digit inflation, and the 300 to 400 homes never materialized. So you built a much, much bigger sewer plant than you ever anticipated. And right now, I believe you're rated at about 163,000 gallons a day. You're getting in the summer about 110 maybe. thousand gallons a day, so you got room for expansion on a per gallon basis. Now that's on a per gallon basis. It doesn't take into consideration the strength of the waste coming in. It was originally treated, I think, designed for about 151,000 gallons a day, 258 pounds of BOD a day, biochemical oxygen demand. You're having to treat for a lot of stuff that plant was never designed to treat, because they have more, as they can test for more and more bad stuff, they want you to treat for more and more bad stuff, which is why you now have to disinfect with UV. We're having to have polishing abilities, which is why you're adding ferric chloride, maybe a little acid to the wastewater to polish it a little bit, to take care of some of the other bad stuff that's out there. And that plant really wasn't designed to take all this hauled waste. You still had farm fields back in the 70s. You could take care of the farm, take care of the hauled waste by land spreading. How many farm fields you still have in the island? Can you count them on one hand? You could count them on one finger. I mean, you got the game farm, that's it. Where else are you gonna land spread it? You're not. Maybe in hindsight's 2020, you could have put a mechanical plant in, but back in the early 70s, they wouldn't have given you funding for a mechanical plant, because you'd say, hey, for the few septic tanks you had no problem. Now, when people are building on the island, they're really not building that much on the collection system. They're building out because who wants to build 20 feet away from someone? They want to build, say, in a 3-acre zone or a 2-acre zone. So you're going to put in a holding tank, which means you're going to have it hauled to the treatment plant for treatment. And that's what we're getting faced with. It doesn't help that you're having more and more of these porta potties where, I'm going to rally on this a little bit, where you have an RV and they're trying to get by on the cheap, and I can't fault you. I like saving a buck too. Where all they have is a porta-john. It's not being used, say, at a construction site or at the wedding. They're going to use that as their primary source of waste, and it's really knocking us for a loop. So that's why part of the reason you're getting this $4.5 million plan. Not to mention the fact that all these pumps are 1970s vintage. So we're going to try and upgrade this to 2025 vintage. So you're not going to have to wait 3 or 4 weeks for them to make a pump in case something goes down. This isn't like a 1975 Ford where you can go down and get a starter from Napa. You're going to have to wait for them to and to go to the foundry and pour a casting for the pump. It's not something they just have sitting on the shelf down in Kansas. They're going to have to make it from scratch. So we're going to try and
Can we deal with all this?
Pardon?
Can we deal with all this? Can we deal with what's coming down the line?
Oh,
We're gonna have to. You don't have a choice. The DNR, again, it's stick them up. I mean, you can wait. I mean, you can kick this down the road, but do you think things are gonna get cheaper 5 years from now? I mean,
And there's more and more building all the time.
That's why we've got to be careful on, staying, I think, pretty much and to Hector's concern as well about a tipping point. Stick with the zoning we have. Don't make 20 acres all of a sudden into 5 acres or 5 acres into 1 acre. I think there is some validity to what they're talking about, and what he's talking about is that where is that tipping point? I mean, we're an island, we can't expand.
That's my concern. My concern is the sanitary.
Yeah, well, that's one of many of mine, but
It's a concern, but take a deep breath and don't worry about it unless your toilet doesn't flush.
keep calm and carry on.
Oh, you guys are wonderful, very constructive. Okay, Paul, that's what I worry about in that.
It keeps me up at night at times too, so Alan.
Well, that's
Amongst other things, but
the drawback of the whole business of growth.
we're too popular.
I know.
Keep advertising.
And then they closed the toilets, yeah.
Let's talk about Steve McHugh's concerns about signs, and Rich, you've got some information.
Absolutely. So, thanks for joining us tonight, Steve. I appreciate it. As everyone knows, Steve made some comments, during the public hearing about, signage and directional signage and, what we can look at and suggestions, to support his business. And Steve and I have worked together. We met yesterday, and then he left me a voice message last week providing some additional information and asking some questions. And, you know, one of the things that, and we know that there's some language in the state statutes about directional signage, and what it would take and what that looks like. And, that is something that we've started researching, looking into. And, you know, it's something that we can continue discussing with the group, as we get near the final, final document.
Thanks.
Yeah, did you want to see if we had anything to add or?
No.
Okay.
Anybody else have any comments or concerns on the zoning rewrite?
Well, this list that was sent out on 5/27/26. Like the first item is, I don't know what George Alex said that, you know, for the most part, in R1 and R2 was unnecessary language. So, I think we should probably delete those. The reason I want to go through this list is I like the TPC will be in agreement or not on these changes. Because these are taken mostly from the public hearing. So those two items I believe would probably be okay.
Yeah.
The third one on I think we can maybe wait till we get down to number 6 in new business, healing motion. And signs, we just talked about that. And there was a letter and comment from the town board chairman about procedures in making sure that the public is informed and that land use permits or other permits don't just get tabled and go on and on. So I went through the zoning ordinance and 7.3.7 procedure, and has to do with conditional use. That's the language that's already in there. So I think that does place time limits and schedules on the process. 8.4, the permit process, I think we should change that heading to land use permit process, just to clarify it. And then we would add, if the town plan commission does not act within 60 days of receipt of said applicant, and the applicant does not agree to an extension, it shall be deemed denied for the purpose of appeal. I think the word appeal got left off there. And then on to 15.0 complaints, that we would also insert some language is it basically to inform the complainant a minimum of every 60 days about the action taken on submitted complaint. I mean, that way, if somebody submits a written complaint, they're not just sitting there waiting month after month after month, trying to figure out if anything's been happening, if there's any action taken. So those were concerns that came out of that public hearing, and I'd like to hear if anybody has objections to making these changes at this time.
No, good.
I have concerns about adding a healthcare facility outside
Well,
shoreline overlay district.
right.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll
Oh,
talk.
I'm just saying it's on his list, so I'm gonna mention it now. Obviously, 5.5 signs requiring permits about off-premise directionary sign. Now it's seasonal. I thought we were talking about having a limited number of events in a year. Like if someone wanted to do an art crawl or like one every 30 days, but now I see we're expanding it for what, about 6 months. I've got serious concerns about that, as you all know. I'm not in favor of that. I don't know why this keeps coming back. We also heard people at the public hearing that were concerned about off-premise directional signage and what that might do. So that's a concern of mine. 7.37, the procedure. I appreciate Jim looking at that, no changes needed. I think under 7.39, we need to add some sentence that the town board, when they come with a recommendation or CUP, have to follow and be in compliance with the provisions of the zoning ordinance. Because for some reason, the town board thinks once a CUP gets to their desk. They do anything they want to do. Like last year with Steve McHugh having musical acts as underneath a home business, which is still complete baloney in my business, in my, estimation. I don't know how that ever got inserted. Lack of information or people not understanding zoning, but there has to be something there that if they're going to approve a CUP, they have to follow the ordinance. They just can't pick and choose out of thin air what someone's asking for. It has to have some merit, some basis in fact, and not just pulling stuff out of thin air. So I want something added in section 7, and I have it here in my notes on page 83 under section 739, where that should be inserted.
Where would you insert that, Charlie?
7 point,
Page 83 under section,
The paragraph, but
well, fourth sentence, when we're referencing the town board's right to approve a CUP with modifications, it should state, quote, after review of the application, recommendation, and file, the town board will consider the recommendation under the standards established in this chapter, and this is what I'd like to add, in compliance with the provisions of this zoning ordinance, stop, and may approve with modification, or deny the recommendation of the town plan commission, because I think without that language and compliance with the provisions of this zoning ordinance, it just seems, and it's just not recently, I'm talking 20 years ago,
Mhm.
it just seems like the town board says, oh, we're just gonna do whatever we want to do, and that's not right.
I think that.
can you send me an email with that to language?
Yeah, well, I got a whole page here I want to talk about, but at some point in time.
That's a good one.
I don't think we're gonna iron out everything tonight anyways, guys. I realize that, so. But yeah, I can send you an email.
That's important.
Might not be till tomorrow, but I'll get one to
And
you.
as far as directional signs, we're gonna have to review the state statute because that could impact moving forward.
Okay,
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah,
thanks, Jim.
thank you.
I think we can move on to the Sixth Street
Just
vacation.
one last thing real quick. Mark, I think it was Mark Lear. Didn't he have a picture on height? And I was looking at it. I don't know what Rich thinks of it, but maybe it's something to consider.
Okay, we do have new illustrations going in rewrite.
And I know we all got this from Mark Weir,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you had any thoughts on that.
I'd be interested in hearing yours.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking we should obviously look at it, maybe review it and see if it's something we can implement when we do the rewrite. I thought it was, it was interesting, put it that way. So we can add that to our future discussion.
It made sense to you?
Well, kind of. I just think we should talk about it, that's all.
Okay.
Maybe what we have is better, but just something to think about. It's still talking about 35 feet,
Mhm.
which I think is the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how do you go about measuring that kind of stuff.
So we'll just put the rewrite on the next agenda for more discussion.
For next steps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know we all would like to get past this and get this done. So if we keep putting it off month after month after month,
Not gonna get that.
it's gonna take a while. So I think we need to try and focus on,
60 days and that's it.
you
yeah,
know,
Well, maybe we should just have a meeting where we talk about that and just that.
we may have to convene, we'll maybe look at that at our next meeting,
Yeah.
unless you want to try and do it sooner.
Maybe we can talk about it when we're talking about
Okay,
future meetings. See how everyone's doing.
Sixth Street vacation update.
And this is just an update. There will be a public hearing, a town board public hearing on July 8th. So when we met here last month on the 6th, we had made a motion to recommend it to town board. Town board, on the May 12th, made a recommendation, to continue through the process. So there will be a public hearing July 8th. It will start to be published in the Ashland Daily Press on June 12th. The requirements are, it has to be published 3 weeks in a row. So it'd be June 12th, June 19th, and June 26th. And then we've got the holiday that's in there, and then the public hearing will actually be on July 8th here at 5 p.m. So I'm in process of gathering what I need to pull that together.
Okay.
Thanks, Ray. Above ground holding tank update.
Yeah, and this is one where, you know, as everyone knows, I met with the Madeline Sanitary District on April 29th and, you know, went through an update of kind of where we're at. There's a lot of moving pieces to this. But since we last met, I did hear back from the state on May 20th. And I had shared our draft language at the time with them so that they could weigh in on it. And their direction to me was that as long as the county would be on board with our language, then they would be comfortable with it. So I still need to talk to the 2 companies that do the pumping out of those types of containers. And then it's really just coordinating with everyone again and, you know, decide if it's something that we would like to go forward with. We have the draft language in right now in the draft zoning ordinance. But we will have to make a determination if it's something that we want to go forward with or not. But the county was on board. We did make some minor edits to the language. We expanded it a little bit. But we've crossed that hurdle. I can re-coordinate with final language with them. The state's on board. The sanitary district raised some great questions, concentration and density and capacity. And, those are all parts of the equation when we as a team make that final decision. But I do need to reach out to the 2 companies that do the pumping out and get their input. And so hopefully by the time we meet July 1st, we'll have all of that. And then we can weigh all of the input from the different, stakeholders and make a decision.
So I'm assuming that when they pump this out, it's not too big an issue to pump it, but when they dump it at the treatment center, don't they have to dilute it?
Well, and part of the issue was that we would require the gray water to go in as well. So it won't be as dense. So that's part that I need to talk to them about is, okay, if we're pumping out something that's 300 gallons or 500 gallons, what are the challenges? Are you able to do it? And then the conversation goes back to Madeline Sanitary District, to talk about that as well. So we've made fantastic progress on this. I mean, I think we're getting near the end as to whether we will know that it's allowable. The question is do we want to do it?
If we can accommodate it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of restrictions in the language right now that and I don't have it in front of me, but like March through October, it's seasonal. It's not an over.
Do we have a limit on the amount of them that could be issued permits on the island?
Well, something that we had talked about, I don't think it's currently in the language, would be those that are currently, I think what's in the language now is that if you have an active permit, for construction, because some people build their garage first, and then one of the ways is we could further restrict that. I don't think it's a huge number based on the way it's worded.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not all year. It's if you have an active permit, meaning you're probably building something on your property.
Mm-hmm.
So my gut feel is, and I've gotten 3 or 4 questions, that it would be 5 or 10 a year at maximum. Because this isn't opening it up for camping as a permanent solution.
Right.
It's just that it fills that gap on a timing perspective, and it helps the property owner out with cost, which, ultimately they are building something. So that's a good thing.
And perhaps keeps them from just
Right,
putting it on the ground.
yeah.
Okay,
So again, it was just an update today, just that I did hear back from the state a couple of weeks ago that.
Okay.
Just
they're-
kind of an update too. All this in red is for those holding tickets.
What page is that?
50. So there's
Okay,
quite a few regulations.
Yeah, yep. I remember reading it, I just don't have it in front of me right now. I wanted to know if there was a number.
Okay, we ready to move on to healing motion?
yeah.
Anybody have any comments?
Well, everybody thinks it's a good idea. They're all for it. It's just the zoning issue. How do we deal with that? How do we keep it legal?
Well, one way would be to allow a healthcare facility outside of the shoreline overlay district in Esco. To me, that's the simplest way to do it. It's a healthcare facility. I can't imagine many S1 landowners having anything against a healthcare facility. And if that were allowed in that district, then the owners would have to apply for a CUP because that would be a conditional use in that district.
Sounds like the easiest way to go.
Healthcare facility would cover like somebody doing massages or a chiropractor, you know.
It's kind of the only option, isn't it?
No, there's more options, but I think that's
Oh, there it is one.
the easiest one. The one that, yeah, that they came up with. It's on the back of, so you have this one in your packet, it's on the back. Page.
Yeah.
I'm going to the, it's obviously wanted. But you hate to
Well, you don't want,
go against the zone.
yeah, I mean, you know, you don't want a spot zone or,
No,
What does S1 zoning? I mean, look at what S1 is. What is the heading? We gotta be careful on what we're allowing, because we all know a conditional use is a permitted use with conditions. It's very rarely ever going to be denied, if ever.
I think the definition has most totally covers shoreline. And this would have to be out of the shoreline overlay district.
This district is intended to provide for development along the shoreline in a manner that will not deplete or destroy the character of the shoreline resources. All uses must conform to the requirements of the Ashland Shoreline Protection Ordinance, Hazard County Floodplain Ordinance. And the Town of LaPointe ordinance related to shorelines is more restrictive than the Ashland County Shoreline Protection Ordinance. Town of LaPointe ordinance continues in all respects to the extent of greater restrictions, but not otherwise. If you look at the permitted and conditional uses, and that's where this thing was granted a home business attached to a home. But now I know Dave Elan made a point about, commercial activity expanding into other zones. That'd be my concern is, if you're going to do this, which I'm not in favor of, you better hammer home what a healthcare facility is, just like what an educational facility is. And again, you're expanding into residential zones. People, they buy property in S1 at a premium price for, in a lot of cases, not most cases, seclusion and the ability to enjoy their property as much as anybody else. So where is their defense? And I love it when people say, oh, well, make an exception for so-and-so, make an exception for so-and-so, make an exception for so-and-so. I don't care if they're the greatest people in the world or the biggest asshole in the world. They have to follow the zoning ordinance. And the problem is every time you make an exception to the rule, it gets harder and harder to enforce things. Like when somebody wants to have large scale events on their property and you get all these complaints, what's to prevent that individual from saying, well, you gave so-and-so a break, you gave so-and-so a break.
Yeah.
All it's going to do, and it might not affect us, but I've been on this long enough, it's going to affect things down the line and you're going to be dealing with it. So I just want to be really careful about it. Sometimes the easiest thing is not the right thing, guys. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions. What gets me with this is that they agreed to it. There was two conditions. One condition that it was, if it changed hands, that was it. And the other condition is, what was it? It had to be, they had to abide by all the rules of a home occupation, needing a home. So, you grant this stuff on the premise of that. They expand it to Dave Elan's point that it's almost a commercial facility. And now, well, we want to change the rules. The simplest thing, guys, is that they just keep doing it the way they're doing it and not change anything.
There's more traffic there than the airport.
There's a lot of people there. And I get what Dave Elan's saying. I mean, it's an issue. And, you talk about how to help them out. Well, I think the easiest thing is that they'd help themselves and just not monkey with it, leave it be. What's so wrong about that? And why, we're portrayed as the evil TPC. We're just enforcing the ordinance, which should be there for everybody. That's just my thought of the whole matter.
The trouble is that there's, the public is for it, but I think you're right.
And they were basically here to advocate that we change the ordinance to permit that. So
Well, there
that-
again, what,
That puts us in, in.
well, it puts you in a ringer. It always will.
Yeah.
But the thing is too, what does the comprehensive plan say about this? And we always have to look back at the comprehensive plan. We didn't waste it. Was it wasting 2 years to go through a comprehensive plan rewrite?
Do you think in the ordinance, we've got permitted uses and uses that require a conditional use? Do you think we list too much stuff in the ordinance that
For permit.
that is conditional use? Because if that wasn't there, then they couldn't get a conditional use permit.
But it is for a home business. So if they follow the rules of what a home business is intended to, and yeah, I agree. Part of the comprehensive plan says, yeah, we want home businesses, but where does that home business become a commercial activity? And that's the line that people want to blur because they want to do anything they want on their property. But then, there becomes another tipping point, to use Hecker's terminology, of then why is commercial getting, out into the residential, the rural areas of 20 acre zoning districts where it's not supposed to be? If it's a home business, it's a home business. We've got rules for that, but it's this constant changing, which I remember years ago, someone said, every time you change something like this, you're bastardizing the ordinance. And that's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's easy, but
No. So the easiest thing for them to do is just continue doing what they're doing.
well, I don't know why they just can't abide by the CUP that they signed back in 22. I just don't get it. It's not like we're forcing them out of business if they just keep doing what they're doing. I mean, first time I heard it, I wasn't on the TPC, but I had concerns. I thought, well, this sounds like it's more than a home business, but okay, well, fine, whatever. It almost seems like it grew to a point of where it probably should be located in the commercial zone or attached to the health center over there somehow. And the reason why people want to build it on their property, let's face it, they already have the property. They don't have to buy property, so we can develop it on our property, and there you go. But you still have zoning for a reason. This map should mean something.
Okay.
I think they want to do it because I think they're looking at selling their house. And
Well, that's their choice.
They want to move in a direction. Well, they moved in this direction and set it up, and now they want to change it in a different direction.
I just have concern because there's other property. Like I remember one time on Hagen Road, there was talk about having a soccer camp out here by
Yeah.
Cross Patch. And that would have been beyond 1,000 feet of the lake, I think.
lacrosse,
Was that what it?
yeah.
Yeah, it was across. It was the Native American.
Okay, well, it was something out there.
On the flip side, everybody was against it. And here we have a public hearing where, party after party not only showed up, but sent emails and letters and,
It's popular.
either are we in the business of, you know, doing what the landowners and the residents want, or are we so focused on just, you know, the ordinance, the way it's written? And I mean, we had a lot of people that want this.
Well, there's a lot of people in the S1 zone, as this map shows. Maybe you should send out something and get feedback from everyone that owns S1 property. I don't know. I own property in S1 and I wouldn't want this by me, but that's just me. You know, some people, I don't know, maybe some people love it in S1. I have no idea. I just have concerns. You know, and then what do you
Well, we
do?
all had concerns when I mean, my recollection was the TPC, voted not to recommend the yurt.
Because it was a home occupation. Wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
applied for originally.
And you guys decided that it wasn't, it didn't fall under those parameters of a home occupation. So then the town board, gave them a home business, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the home business, they're allowed so many employees.
Mm-hmm. But it also has to be tied to a home, henceforth home business.
Right.
Has to be restricted parking.
Preliminary action on this, maybe we should take Charlie's recommendation and send out letters to all S1 landowners and see what we get back. Because that's gonna have to be done if it does go forward. So I know it's a step that you usually take when it becomes a public hearing on changing that. But maybe get S1, see what people think.
Well, I remember when we created S2 from Big Bay Town Park out to Schoolhouse Lane. The attorney obviously said, yeah, you're gonna have to send everyone who was a landowner out there on that stretch, a letter, because you're changing the zoning. This necessarily isn't changing zoning, but it's changing something that's going on within that district.
Right, but only outside of the shoreline protection overlay.
But a lot of those people own property that extend past to the other side. In a lot of cases, it'd probably be on this side of the road.
How expensive would that be to send, how many S1 landowners are there? I have no idea.
There's a lot,
There's a lot,
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's a lot, 30?
300, 200, 300, I don't know,
couple hundred.
couple hundred, I would
I
think.
would think so.
I think it's important to get feedback from those people that are gonna be affected though.
How hard would it be to move that yurt?
Pretty hard.
I think.
They've got other infrastructure there like solar and, you know.
Because if they're willing to give up a piece of property, you'd think they'd be willing to give up that yurt. And if we could move the yurt to buy the healthcare center on some town park property down here, then all the people that are teaching all the Tai Chi and blah, blah, blah would still have a space to do it without ruining the S1.
There's not one lick of C1 property available.
No,
But she was saying town property.
town.
Oh,
property.
okay,
But town property, there's town property around it,
yeah.
you know. If not over there, there's a town property out by fire hall
Mm-hmm.
on either side.
Well, can we rezone that little piece to town property?
You mean where the yoga yurt is out here?
Yeah,
Because on the other side, it's the airport.
yeah. So
So move the lines.
let's just, the parcel that they want to create, what happens if it's just town property?
Well, then they'd have
Then the
to,
town
well,
would
then
have,
they'd have to turn it over to the town.
yeah, the town can have complete care and control over it. If they move it to town property, that's the way it would be.
Right.
Well, I'd rather see that.
I'd rather
than-
make it easier for them. It's a great idea, town property. I'd, you know,
Well, that might be an option. I'd rather see that than put another you know, something else into S1 or any other zone
Yeah,
where it's just designed to help one person right now.
'Cause
Because I don't know,
it's a
in
cool building, and if it ever falls apart down the road, why couldn't it be a park? You could put some slides next to the yurt and the yurt.
Yeah, for the airport people, they can go.
Yeah.
And the cats.
There's a dog park.
Well, maybe,
Yeah,
well, maybe talk that over with.
I brought my cats to it, but they wouldn't go in.
Why?
I mean, maybe that's an option. Maybe that's something the Myries might be receptive to. I don't know, but
Other people in the middle of nowhere have donated their land to the town. There was a case up on a schoolhouse
We
where.
just gave back though.
Exactly.
well, maybe that's an
So
option.
let's float that idea,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know?
What idea is that?
To make it a town land.
to
To
Take,
that 3 acre plot that they want to separate from their house. at
make
the yurt.
it town property.
We'll move the airport line.
Well, it would have to be like public or something, because airport's airport. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
airport.
Would just get.
Because right, or light
It
industrial.
can be town owned.
But I think actually the airport is in the light industrial zone, is it not? Maybe.
The light,
No, would it be-
the light industrial zone is in the airport.
Okay, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Like ours, I mean, would it become
Yeah, it's like that,
like town hall? No, yeah. But as far as,
or it's public resource land, maybe. I don't know. We'd figure it out.
And the town can lease the entity that wants to operate the yurt for, you know,
A bucket.
$10, you know.
Yeah,
So if you were to have them donate this to the town, what zone would that become?
I would,
Would this be allowed in that zone? There you get that same problem again.
yeah, that,
Like, say, make it public resource land.
Well, what,
there would
yeah.
not apply as far as the usage of a,
Well, the health center is in the commercial zone. We know that.
but you can't get that piece of land
Well,
away from Chrome.
Public resource, for instance, as a conditional use, they have a recreational facility. I'm not saying this is a recreational facility, but it provides for a facility. It wouldn't be conservancy district.
Sounds like the best option.
Government and institutional district, permitted uses is municipal building,
and a
public education facility.
the healthcare facility,
Huh? Yeah, well, you're on the same page.
page 30.
So wouldn't it be a government and institutional district?
That might work.
Like the best option going.
Well, I think it's the only agreeable option, because I think trying to change all of S1 outside of 1,000 feet into some healthcare facilities is gonna bite us in the ass going forward. Maybe not us, but some other group of suckers that are sitting in our chairs.
so
It's been
we've got a little consensus on this for Rich to go to.
I guess, I still think, you know, they should have just left well enough alone, but, you know, harmony.
Can throw that
Well,
option.
one of their concerns is, as they stated, is that if something happens to them, you know, or they move away, whatever, that they want to make sure that this continues.
I understand that. They should have thought about that when they signed the CUP.
Well, sometimes it's hard to.
Well,
I know, but when you're
The
signing
thing-
something, sometimes just let me finish. Sometimes people will say one thing and then do the complete opposite. I'm not saying they're liars, but they're not telling the truth maybe either. That kind of pisses me off. Because we dealt with it out on Middle Road with something much bigger than this.
I think the thing just grew exponentially. I didn't think they thought that it was gonna be such the big hit
Take
that
off,
it
yeah.
is.
Well, and to Dave Eland's point, then where does it become commercial? And that's what I want to avoid
Well,
going forward.
I mean,
And that's one.
in all fairness, it is commercial because the business, you know, there's home occupation and there's home business, and the home business stipulates the number of employees
Mhm.
and the instructors that they've got over there, if you looked at that, probably exceeds the number of employees that are allowed.
Right.
So, you know,
Are they paid though, or are they volunteers?
but
And I'm not debating that.
I don't think that matters.
But that's the reason why I'm real hesitant on trying to, you know, have the whole zone, even if it's beyond 1,000 feet of the lake, have a healthcare facility as a conditional use permit. So let's explore this
Yeah, I think you got something going there.
and move on with life.
It would be easier if the room was full of people that were against it, but that's not the case. So I want to think outside the box.
Yeah, but they don't know what's coming down the line after it's approved.
Well,
We do.
if it's town property, then that changes the scope.
But it helps that you have town property immediately across the street to,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the justification.
We can investigate that further,
Yep,
lock it down.
Yeah.
that's always like,
So we have a little consensus and
Yeah.
Rich can talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I'm on it.
uh,
Thanks, Chair.
future agenda items.
Oh, boy.
So that's always a work in progress, right to the,
Well, we got a lot of stuff done today, though. A lot of people approved.
any extended public comment, Steve?
You sleep.
Steve has left the
I
building.
would, I'm hoping the town will consider that state, directional sign.
We're,
That, I've suggested, and, that was also suggested by Glenn as an approach to directional signs. So.
thanks, Steve. We'll be reviewing state statutes and working on that. Paul?
Three things. One thing, just throwing this out, I'm not an advocate for him whatsoever, although he does have some points with George Hecker. Could there be some, if he's concerned about the R2 in Nebraska Road, could there be some sort of an overlay district? If he's concerned about the historical value for Nebraska Road to kind of satisfy his concerns about Nebraska Road, I'm just throwing that out. The second thing is regarding those above ground holding tanks. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but I believe at that meeting that what the board decided was not to allow any of that until after our plant upgrade. It might take a year, but just to put it on the back.
That's my recollection.
Number three, I know you mentioned about all the people here that are supporting this year. You have to consider, maybe they were only here because they're only getting one side of the story. Maybe they didn't see the CUP that the Myrie signed. Maybe it was just a mass email to quick come and support us. And one last thing, I'll leave on one note. As a very wise man once told me, figures may lie, but liars always figure.
Found.
Profound.
Thank you, Paul. Next scheduled meeting, regular TPC meeting, July 1st at 4:30 PM. Is that looking good for everybody?
To Jim's point earlier about, do we want to have a meeting in a couple of weeks, maybe just to keep going on this zoning rewrite, so we don't push it off too much longer? I don't want to be sitting here after Labor Day still talking about it, and I know you guys don't either. So how's everyone scheduled? 2 weeks? I don't know, Chair. What do you think? You're busy with Ashland County, I know.
Well, I'll work around what everybody else wants.
I don't know, Jim, what do you think? I mean, I agree with you. I think we want to keep on this. I'm not advocating for next week, but in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I just think we should have a meeting before our July 1st meeting and just dedicate it to the zoning ordinance rewrite.
You talking about the 17th?
Yeah, whatever day that is. I mean,
Wednesday.
The biggest hot button with the rewrite, I think, is you know, the healing motion. you know, Rich is gonna need some time to work on.
I just think we'll get more done if we just have a meeting that's dedicated to that and not distracted with minutes and,
Right,
Too long.
I mean, if he's got one or two, land use permits in 2 or 3 weeks that need to get approved, maybe that's one thing, but I don't know what you guys think. That's just,
I think a lot of it's up to Rich to, because he's gonna have to do a lot of,
and he's gonna be gone next week.
oh, you're gone next week?
I'm
Yeah.
on next week, but I
Okay,
can.
I didn't know
have-
that.
I have time this week to get the wheels in motion and, I am gonna be checking email and voicemail next week while I'm out. So there's certain things that I can do.
Well, how about 3?
Well, what, yeah, why not the last week?
Like, the last
That
Wednesday,
works too, that would. be
that would
good.
give you more time. And if all we have is this,
You got the 17th and the 24th.
no, not gonna work, Jim?
Yeah.
Jim's groaning over there.
Yeah.
What you got, Jim?
He's either he's hungry or he's,
I think I can make that one.
Which one? 17th or 24th?
24.
24th? And then we meet the next week for our meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll give you a little extra time too, Rich, to,
Yeah. Thanks.
you know, and not only this healing motion, but we talked about the signage, introduction signage and everything,
Yeah.
like the state statutes and that.
so June 24th at 4:30 or 5 or what?
No, we're on 5.
Okay, 4:30. 4:30?
I can do 4:30.
Okay,
Can you do 4:30?
Hopefully.
because we don't go 4:45 or something.
Yep, 4:30.
I don't really have anything to do. I just don't like to go.
How's that work for you, Paul?
I don't have my schedule in front of me for county stuff. What day is that?
So when,
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
24th.
what about sewer
Yeah.
sanitation?
Uh,
When's your meeting and
it's usually the third Wednesday.
That's the 17th. The
17th.
third- That's the
Okay.
17th.
Okay,
you should be fine?
yeah.
Might have a special for deciding what to do with the CD, but CD comes due before the 17th.
The 24th is wide open.
Okay, let's hit it. 30?
4:30.
I'm doing it in pen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll get you out of work.
Red ink.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, I think we're still not too busy at the, so I should be.
We'll pick you up.
Yeah, just kick the people out. You guys out. Like tomorrow, I have to close early for the border review.
What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's,
Well, that's why we're meeting tonight, Sue Ellen.
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm sitting in the chamber Monday, Wednesday.
or Michael can come watch his shop. I don't know.
There you go.
I have
There you
to
go.
leave at 3:45, that's all I know.
He hasn't watched the shop in a long time.
Yeah, he does every Sunday or Saturday.
Oh,
He helps Gloria. He gives out the fudge.
Or for we adjourn.
Oh, I need to adjourn this before we just have a little
No.
free for all. We're adjourned.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
See you, Heidi.
Bye.